Peninsula that can deliver potable water to our families in case of an earthquake or the bridge coming down. And we're talking about the ferry in terms of its impact on retail sales, but the real impact is the 3,000 trucks that come across that ferry trying to deliver food, supplies, medical supplies. And folks really are looking at that issue. We're looking at the country of origin, much more pressure about where our food is and how many miles it travels. Cancer for our elders, a working landscape, an acre of land operated as a farm costs our county 24 cents. An acre of land under development is a minimum of $1.12 out of our taxes. So for those of you who are curious about lower taxes in rural communities, rural landscapes more than pay their way. I just want to talk a little bit about our successes in 2007 as a community with our local food and farm, and then make sure Elliot has as maximum amount of time with you as possible. In this last year, we had over 600 folks attend our 4th annual farm tour. And I really, well, the farmers who participated in the farm tour, raise your hand this year. You know, that is terrific. I really appreciate it. I know some of you feel like you're doing us a favor to be on the farm tour, but we feel like we're doing you a marketing favor. We put all the farms who participate in the farm tour are up on the WSU webpage all year long with a farm tour, and we had one of our farmers in Quilcene report that she had 1,600 customers that identified they came to their farm to buy because they saw it on the WSU website. It's really good marketing for you. 600 people go on the farm. 80% of them say it's the first time they've been on a working farm in the county. This year we had the 5th generation farm at Bishop Farm. And if you remember the Bishops a couple of years ago, they lost some of their cattle to some tainted grain that came over from eastern Washington. And they lost all their breeding cattle, about 15 animals. And we were able to work with them to put together the insurance claim and documentation evidence of the contamination, and with that money, they invested it in getting certified as an organic dairy. It's the first certified organic dairy, and when we had them on the farm tour this year, they were kind of reluctant. You know, we're a working farm, cows can pop out anytime, we really don't want to do this. And I said, okay, Mr. Bishop, what's the problem? Why don't you want to be on the farm tour? He said, well, you know, we're the bishops of Agonai Road, and this community's never really liked us very much, right? And I said, okay, I'm never going to respond, I'm never going to describe you as the Agonai farm in our publicity. So we had this big supplement in the leader. Next day the PDN calls and says, we didn't get a press release. And I said, yeah, you did. She said, I got to write my story by 2 o'clock. I opened on Saturday morning, the Bishop Farm of Agonai Tradition, Betty McDonald. And I called all my interns and I said, okay, whoever's working on the Bishop Farm, yeah, I'll be right over. I'm coming. And so I got over there, and Nancy Edgerton had her son holding the guy's hand. Carol Self, one of our volunteers, was there. And as she winked at me, she said, Mr. Bishop is in the receiving hall of the house if you want to go up. And I thought, oh God, right? So I walked into this old farmhouse that they don't live in anymore. They actually have built a house further on the farm. I said, Mr. Bishop, I'm Katherine Baril. He says, God, this is the greatest event. These people just love us. You know, and he was bringing out the family photos. He was talking about the whole thing. And in the story, the PDN reporter had pointed out that Betty McDonald was long gone from this valley, and she was living in England now, but the bishops were still here. And somehow it healed like 50 years of pain in this family. It was terrific. And as I drove off, he goes, now y'all come back next year, because we're not a Dairygold welfare farm anymore. We're making real money, and we're going to fix this whole place up. So every time you reach for that organic milk at the co-op, remember that that's what we're investing in. We're investing in those kinds of family stories. We had the cheese, and I really want to salute Kate and Will O'Donnell with Port Townsend Cheese, first local cheese in 30 years, and already won a national award. So, good stuff. And from that we have, I think Suzanne Tyler's here, and she's going to maybe make some goat cheese. She's attended some workshops. We have 3 or 4 goat cheese folks coming on. We have about 5 hard cider farms that are planting their trees and coming on. We have 42 people who finished the Cultivating Success business class, including our lavender farmer, who's here from Squim today. We have 30 people who are taking the current small business development class. We had 80 people at a Green Industries workshop. We were one of 4 sites in the nation to be chosen for a Green Enterprise workshop from the Northwest Area Foundation. WSU this year announced the first in the nation degree in organic ag, and hopefully we're going to get Kate and some of you with your master's degree by studying here and learning your degree. Our goal was to really partner with a lot of interest, so we're talking about meat processing. The farmers market held its sales this year with its 42 vendors. The co-op is just short of $10 million in sales. Fort Worden is just doing a whole new strategic plan of becoming a regional learning center. And part of that is the potential of restoring a historic dairy right here at Fort Worden and a historic bakery here. We have Bon Appetit as the contractor. We have over 70 people who already are parts of the Slow Food organization. And we have 4-H growing from about 84 kids 5 years ago to over 600 kids, the largest youth organization in the county. And some of you farmers sponsored the first youth farming program this summer. So big hand for everybody.